Ted Flett of Golden Skate, and I'm joined now by Elvis Stojko, 3-time world champion, 5-time Skate Canada champion.
Yeah.
And we're here at Skate Canada, at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. You never competed here, did you?
Not here, not in this building, no.
Okay.
No.
But being back here amongst competition, do the juices get flowing again? Do you ever think?
Yeah, absolutely. It was interesting the other day. I was watching the men skate practice and watching them do their great stuff, and then I had to go on the other rink to go practice myself, and it gave me a little bit of inspiration to kind of get ready for some shows and stuff like that. But it will always be there. I'm always a competitor, so it's just you always feel like, yeah, I wonder if I could get out there and mix it up with the young guys. But it's great to watch and always have that feeling.
Right. And you were here as the Skate Canada ambassador. What does that mean?
It's an honorary position where I help promote. I'm kind of like the in-between for the fans and the athletes. So I'm the sort of the face of the event in a way. So I do media, interviews, that type of thing, doing some fun stuff on the ice, shooting the cannon with the t-shirts into the audience.
Yeah, they're thrilled.
Yeah, it's a blast doing that stuff. I've been prepping a lot even before this event. Early mornings, getting those interviews done, media. Also, there's contest winners. They win tickets. I chat with them. Different sponsors, meeting with the different sponsors that are here. Okay. It's sometimes it's tough for the athletes. They're still competing to kind of connect with sponsors. So I kind of take that position and kind of help out.
Okay. And you're coming off a summer of returning to Stars on Ice.
Yes.
And I saw you on a couple of stops. Whenever you and Kurt Browning are either in the same building or on the same ice, like we all have these big '90s flashbacks. Did you experience that amongst fans?
Without the big hair.
Yeah, a little less hair.
Yeah. No, it was. Those flashbacks do come, especially in the buildings that we competed at. Especially with that, it's such a great feeling. I mean, Hamilton has a lot of great memories for me. I mean, we had many good competitions there. Kurt and I fought out there in '93. Great competition. 18,000 seats sold out. It was awesome. Yeah. So each arena I go to always brings back memories. And to be on Stars again and have the ovation that I had, the fans were absolutely awesome. I was grateful for myself. I was able to skate well during that run and kind of keep up with the young kids and just felt part of it, and it's in the next generation, but to be still out there skating at my age, it still feels great.
Yeah. Are you still buds with Kurt?
Yeah, we see each other different cross paths on different events and different things like that, so we do see him along the way.
Okay, excellent. So we're here at Skate Canada. This is an interesting time. We're 2 events down in terms of the Grand Prix Series. Mm-hmm. You've been through many Grand Prix Series yourself. Yep. Qualified for the Grand Prix final. Won the Grand Prix final in Hamilton with the quadruple triple toe loop, making history on that. So it's an interesting time to sort of gauge, okay, who's come out, who's made a splash. Breaking down first the men's event, because obviously as a great single male skater, I'm curious to know how you sort of broke down and compared the results of Skate America and the results of Skate Canada.
It was very, very different. We had some really, really good skates at Skate America. Skate Canada, not so good. It's sort of hit and miss. Kevin Reynolds was sort of the talk of the week. He's come back from injury issues with skates and equipment, and kudos to him because he's done it. It's a very difficult thing to do, and he came back and showed Canada, especially here, is wonderful for him. Patrick, he's trying to push the quad sow. He's going to need it for next year, and now's the time to make the mistakes, get it out there, train it. I mean, Yuzuru has done that in the past. We've seen him have disastrous skates, but he's starting to get under his feet. I know he had an injury earlier this year, but it was weird, and he was skating well, and then went out there and just kind of tanked in the short. He gave up. In the long program, he kind of held it together, but it just seems like he was trying to just find himself again, that kind of space that he was at last year when he had that incredible skate, which everyone was just mesmerized. I think he's trying to get back to that, and it's hard. You have to kind of creep up to it. You can't just jump on it right away. So he's trying to find that rhythm again. I think now is the time to kind of go through that process. It's a year before Olympics. The athletes are preparing for Olympics now. This is all preparatory. In the Skate America event, Shoma was amazing.
Yeah, Shoma Uno of Japan.
Absolutely. If you put the 2 competitions together, he was way ahead. I mean, just comparatively. But again, it could be a different energy. I wasn't at that event, but there's a certain energy with the crowd and the spacing where the athletes are at that are going to pull up. With Jason Brown, first quad for him, beautiful, just nailed it. Adam Rippon, good skate, keeping in with there. He's more one of the veterans now. He's been around the block a few times, so his experience is going to help him along the way, and he wants to, push Jason along that. So there's some great skating skating that's happening, this year at Worlds is going to be a good fight.
Yeah. Going back to Yuzuru and his amazing skates last year at NHK and the Grand Prix final, which then put him in like a whole other
realm.
Echelon of men's skating. You were in a similar situation in '97 going into the Olympic season. You had come off amazing skates in Hamilton in the Grand Prix final, repeated it at the World Championships to win another world title. Mm-hmm. Was that hard to then start again the following season with this huge standard and bar that you had set?
Yeah, it is. I set, it was a lot of pressure. It was definitely a lot of pressure going in with the world record and then being world champion and all of that stuff. And I wanted that pressure anyways because I like the challenge. And it's a tough place to be in. And for me, if I didn't have my injury, which was it's such a frustrating thing at the Nationals, I skated so well and all of that, it was a situation where it's a different place to be than being the one chased or the one being chased, like chasing someone or being the one being chased. It's a different place to be. Right now, I think if it was going to happen for Hanyu, it was better it happened for him last year, those incredible skates. Okay. Come down this year a little bit and then build. That was that I think is a better plan for him because it allows him to peak at the right time. To stay at that level for like 2 seasons is very, very difficult.
Right. Do you think it gives, Patrick had a very respectable skate here. He admitted, tired in the legs, so doubled a couple jumps at the end, the fall in the quad, but he rotated it, went after it. Yep. Do you think it gives him a bit of a false sense of security that he won here, even though he didn't have a great skate, whereas Yuzuru didn't have a great skate, silver medal, he's going to be hungry to reclaim his spot.
I'm going to go out on a limb and just share, like, just honesty-wise, because we've seen it in the past with Patrick where they've held him up and he's skated and we've seen it. And the thing is like they're trying to help him, but in essence, it's not helping him because in that essence, you're giving, like you said, false sense of security. But if he has a wake-up call to realize, you know what, I can't make these mistakes, you actually weaken the skater, you weaken the athlete. Because they get another one, I got through that one unscathed, that type of thing. But if you place like he did at the Worlds last year, that's a good wake-up call. Now he's like, I got to do these things. I got to push the quads and I got to do this because these guys are now doing the in-betweens. Mm-hmm. The quality of the edges, the interpretation, the skating skills, the attention to detail, all these things are there. And he's not that far ahead anymore. The guys are leveled, especially when they put it on. Shoma, Yuzuru, when he's on, it's like magic. So by winning this, it's great for the moment. And in the grand scheme of things, this is just a stepping stone. For a lot of people, it's a big event, but it's just a stepping stone. For me, we use it as a stepping stone. So in my mind, I'm thinking Olympics. I'm using this, if I don't win here, great, it's going to spur me on. Mm-hmm. So it's always that challenge. It's like people, when they talk bad about you, I always love it because that spurs me on. It makes me stronger. So by not making it, it's a good thing. It plays in Yuzuru's favor by kind of having this event here, a wake-up call for him.
Mm-hmm. The coaching change by Patrick Chan. Mm-hmm. You were with the same coach, your entire competitive career?
Almost, yeah, pretty much until the last few years. I went over and I switched strictly to Ushi, but that was absolutely. I think the coaching change for Patrick was a good move. I can see him on practice. There's certain little techniques that I'm seeing him do, especially for the axle. Just little things that I see, just little exercises that have enhanced the timing. And that's a good thing. And that's, I think, what he needed. He needed that sort of a fresh approach to it. There's a few little technical things, like I said, that is going to help him click into that timing. Because the guy can jump. He's brilliant. But there's certain aspects that's going to help him get that consistency, something to keep his body in check, that he can repeatedly do it under pressure. Mm-hmm. And these techniques are super, super important. I used to use them all the time, prepping for axles and quads and things like that. So he's getting that in. I'm watching that in practice and what he's doing. I'm like, perfect, this is good. And that's following. He's in the right direction.
Okay. You mostly competed at Skate Canada, I think was usually your first event in the Grand Prix Series. Yeah. So you would have gotten out early, but this season, there's still Javier Fernandez to come. Nathan Chen, the wonder kid from the U.S., is still alive in the Grand Prix series. There's sort of these snakes in the grass that will look at the results of Skate America and Skate Canada probably and assess, okay, this is where the chips are sort of falling. This is what we need to do to put ourselves forward. Would you ever assess what other skaters were doing in your day on the Grand Prix circuit and sort of gauge your performances and what you were going to attempt accordingly?
Absolutely.
You did?
Absolutely.
So these guys probably are too.
Yeah, they're assessing what everyone's doing, because you can hear rumors. Oh, I heard this guy's doing quad-luts or whatever, and they may not be doing it. They're just catching one, here and there. But then when you see them do it in competition, then you got Boyan Jin quad-luts triple toe, and we all know, and that's a perfect quad-luts. It is like taking off backwards. It's not rotating, and cheating it. Like it's like butter, And so when you see that type of thing, I have to know. When I was competing, I wanted to know what I was facing. So then when I get there, I don't get the shock. So I can prepare for it. So these guys, Javier, he's training, he's doing his thing. I know he's prepping to see what the guys are doing. I know he was here with Brian. So I know he was in the audience.
He was here,
I saw him at the rink. So I know he was around. He's definitely checking it out. I mean, he trains with Yuzuru, so I'm just going to watch what he's doing.
Well, and Nathan Chen showed up in Chicago. Is there a bit of mind games? I mean, is there? Let's go and show my face and make sure the other guys know and aware that I'm in the building.
There could be that too. Just say, yeah, I'm here to watch. Like, when I competing, I know some of the guys. If I was in that position, yeah, I'd be here. Like if I was competing later on in Japan and I knew my big guns were here, I would definitely come, show my face, come down, say hi, good luck, guys, whatever. Be there, say, hey, man. Let's do this. And the next we're going to see each other in Worlds or Grand Prix finals, and I'm ready. Or not show them. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm ready to do that. So it's just that the bold confidence thing that you want to have there, and not shy away from it, because you need that when you get out there. Because if you go out there just to perform, you're going to get destroyed. You've got to be a warrior when you compete.
Okay, the women. Ashley Wagner won Skate America, was sort of a top of the class in terms of that field. How do you break down, where the women are at with Ashley winning in Skate America, Evgenia Medvedeva, the world gold medalist, responding with a very strong skate here.
Yep.
Outpointed Ashley in terms of scores and numbers. How do you break down the women's events?
Well, it's interesting you bring up the scores because people try to compare one competition to another. You got a different set of judges, and sometimes a panel will be pickier at one event than another. So you try not to compare the points too much, because they're going to be pickier in some aspects than others, and they're going to have a certain way of looking at it. So when I look at it this way, I mean, the world champion here was phenomenal. She's got her stuff together. Ashley, I think, is coming into her own. She's, in the last couple of years, has really brought a confidence in her skating, and now she knows she's at the top. Last year it proved that at the World Championships, but she's continually pushing. And what I love about her, she's a warrior. That girl really pushes, so never, ever count her out. There will be times maybe that she might not have all the technical things some of the other girls have, but never count her out, because she'll put it on the day, and some of those girls may make mistakes. Looking at Gracie Gold, I think she's having some trouble trying to fit in with Ashley pushing so hard. She's relentless. Yeah. She's constantly relentless, and I don't think I don't know if Gracie was prepared for that type of onslaught of energy. So she looks great, she looks fit, but it's making mistakes. So her timing's a little bit off, and that usually when the athlete starts to think too much, starts to hesitate, slow things down, that's when things happen. Especially with this new up and comer from the States, Mariah Bell. I watched her, awesome, coming out of nowhere.
Just when you've already got a packed field in the U.S. or Japan or Russia, boom, there's another.
There's always one that comes in. You got one from Japan, one from the U.S., and the athletes are like, oh, not another one, because you're fighting an onslaught in the front, and then there's someone coming from behind that's trying to catch. But it makes you honest. You push, and don't shy away from it. For Gracie, that's what I tell her: don't shy away. Train. Keep the confidence up. Know that you've got there. You can maintain it. No matter how awesome these new kids are, there's always something. If you dig deep enough, you can get ahead, and it's going to make the skating in the World Championships for this year great, and leading up to the Olympics.
Does it almost make it easier for Gracie Gold and Mao Asada with the pressure off? They didn't have great skates at Skate America. They may not qualify for the final. They can hunker down and train their way to their respective nationals, and then build up towards Worlds. Whereas the spotlight now is on Ashley. Yep. It's on Evgenia here. And more buzz about, okay, let's keep this going all the way through.
It's always about, it's not about what happens, it's about how you deal with it. That's how I looked at it. So you look at two different aspects. So look at Ashley's performance, Maria Bell's performance, the spotlight's on them. So now, the advantage is this. They learn how to deal with the pressure now. Because if they have this happen again next year, leading into the Olympics, they've already had the experience to deal with the spotlight, deal with the pressure, know what it feels like. Okay, the other hand is, yeah, you use up a lot more energy. You may make some mistakes along the way, may not have the perfect skate, but they have a season of dealing with it, and that is by far one of the most important things to deal with. You don't want to be dealing with it all of a sudden at Olympics. You're going to blow a gasket for sure.
Right.
The other two, they've been in the pressure situation before. They know how to deal with it. So this gives them a chance, like you said, to kind of be in the shadows a little bit, reassess. It also kind of gives them a kick in the butt to say, you know, we're going to have to step it up. There's certain aspects here that we're going to get caught on. You know, if, Mao Asada, if she wants to do it and she wants to stay up there, you know what I mean? Does she have the physical capability of staying with these youngsters? Can she do it? A kick in the butt, maybe that extra adrenaline push to go, yeah, I can do this, and reach a little bit further. Same thing with Gracie. She may have to reassess, but a lot of times you got to take a step back to take that 2 to 3 steps forward.
Here at Skate Canada, right behind Evgeny Medvedeva, was a bit of a surprise. Caitlin Osmond of Canada. And then in third place, Satoko Miyahara. Now, Caitlin was in sharky waters. You've got, the world champion. Satoko has a ton of momentum from last year. She had a bit of a hiccup at the World Championships, but she's got great points, great scores, lots of credence with the judges. Caitlin still hung tough and capitalized on a strong short program, beat her personal best by 10 points in the short, beat her personal best in long by another 10 points. It's a huge stepping stone. How do you break down where Caitlin is at and what are the next steps for her?
Yeah, for Canadian ladies skating, it's fantastic. We've got 3 girls in Canada that are just at each other. With Hélène Chartrand, our Canadian champion last year, I think for her right now, I'm bringing her up because she's been skating so great in practice. Experience is her thing. Is getting the experience being in the spotlight. We saw that at the World Championships last year. It was a lot of pressure. Wasn't sure she was ready for that type of thing. But this year she's slowly getting back. She's making these little errors that you shouldn't be making at the top level, but you're going to make if you don't have this experience. Now, moving on to Caitlin, who's been there. She's faltered back because of the injury, slowly coming back into her own. I think this was a huge thing, having 2 amazing skaters there running head to head, and you know that she's so close to the world champion. Phenomenal, and she performed so well here. I think it's a stepping stone. It's a building block for her confidence. Not just think, I wonder if I could be up with these ladies. No, I'm part of it. I can be at the top 5 in the world, and that is a confidence thing that's going to work for her in spades along the way. So again, with the Japanese girl, I mean, she's wonderful. She's consistent. She's building momentum, like you said, and she's going to be another one to contend with that Mao has going to watch out for, definitely at her championship.
Caitlin's jumps, her triple in particular, is like unbelievable. She gets such distance, height, but it's really controlled compared to, say, a Gabrielle Damon, who also gets great height, but it can be very hit or miss what the landing looks like. When Caitlin lands hers, it's stunning, it's gorgeous. What do you think of her jumping technique? I
think she has very, very good technique. The only time that I think when she messes up is when she rushes her takeoffs. When she gets a little bit too frantic and then rushes, the upper body goes. Because she has really good quick twitch muscles, and that's for her advantage, and she knows how to do it over that length of the ice, where she's able to jump and use the sensation of being able to have distance and height, which is really nice. Some girls will have a peak on a jump, or some skaters will have a big peak and then drop and then do another jump, where she has not quite the peak, but just enough land and then builds the momentum into the second jump. And that's what we see into her combinations that really showcase the landing that just keep going in the speed, and that's what takes her to another level. Where Gabby is such a powerful jumper, she jumps really high. Sometimes if she miscues, she lands and doesn't have the same speed, so it's amazing going up, but the landing doesn't have the same sort of distance and feel, and if she does make a mistake, it's tougher to get that second triple on the triple combo.
I'm thinking you should be really coaching the Canadian team. All this breakdown, it's fantastic. I hope hope they're watching this, and I hope they take on this. Or do you have moments where you can speak with them, privately or after competition, and share your insights?
Yeah.
Or does that kind of muddy the waters because they've already got their plan?
Well, yeah, I don't want to interject too much for mental stuff and things like that. If they ask me, no problem. But I don't want to work with an athlete if obviously you want to ask their coach first because they have a mental plan. I don't want to throw their technique off. I don't want them thinking about something that might not fit what they are.
Right. Elvis told me to do it.
Yeah, and I would never do that. But I would help out mentally, breathing techniques, things that they can take if they want, and if it doesn't work, they can throw it out. And it doesn't affect them. That's okay. But technique-wise, it's a tricky thing. There's a girl that I work with, a junior girl, great technique, and I'm working with her. Even with her, she's a feel type of skater. So I have to, because I'm very technical, I have to interject with her very precisely. Smaller things and not too many things at once. For me, when I was skating, I could adjust 3 to 4 things at a time on a jump. That was one of my skill sets. So when I give that to the kids, I got to make sure some of them can't handle 4 to 5 things. Some can, but I have to figure out what type of skater they are. Are they feeling type skater? Are they technical type skater when they think in positions? This is something you have to learn along the way as a coach. And I'm very, very mindful of that here because people can come and ask me for advice. So I'm very careful on how I give the advice. Right. I want to help everybody. I'd rather have the coach come, Elvis, can you help us with this? Especially at a competition, I wouldn't do it here because they've already got their setting up. But I always say, if you need some help, let me know. I'll come to the rink, work with the coach, work with the skater together so that we're on the same page. I always talk to the coach about it mentally, how their skater works, how they work together. I always say, is it okay? I see this type of thing. And it could be the exact same thing I'm talking about with the coach, but I say it in a different way. And some reason, the kid gets it, it clicks in. Okay. So it just depends, and it's a very, very sensitive thing.
Right. Last question. And you've had great skates, you've had not so great skates. For skaters here who have either won or shone so far in the Grand Prix Series, how do you advise they maintain this momentum to Worlds? For skaters who haven't, how do they make sure this isn't the nail in the coffin and they can still rebound and it's still a long season ahead? Again, it's how you look at it. And I had this conversation with my skater the other day. You're having a rough day at the rink and you get all panicked, no. Don't get emotional. You have to make a choice. How are you going to look at this? You look at it 2 ways. You had a great momentum, awesome, skated well, confidence. Okay, what can I work on now? What can make me better? How close was second place or how close was third place? How far am I? What do I need to get to the top, or what do I need to improve? Where's my plan for Worlds? How far do I want to get to? What I'm capable of doing? You want to calculate all these things. Had a great one. The confidence is there. You can do it. Skater that didn't have a good skate. How do you approach it from there? Go back, reassess. Take a step back. Go. Okay. Was I trained? Was I in shape for this? Did I deal with the pressure correctly? Was I nervous? Did I have the jitters? Was I centered? All these things. What was I distracted? Did I do anything before the event that day that threw me off? Am I affected by too many things around? Do I need more space with myself? Do I need to be more jovial? Do I need to focus more? These are all these points. This is the detail that comes down to it. And a skater has success when they know themselves. Know what they need to equal the success. Because if the success doesn't equal, then you can go back and reassess and go, oh, I missed this part. I did that last year and I forgot. Make the adjustment and go. And you're always learning. You're always assessing and calculating. But these are all these components at this level you have to think about. It's 95% mental when you're at this point in the skating at this level. 5%, 10% physical. Elvis, thanks so much for analyzing, what's happened thus far in the Grand Prix Series. We look forward to seeing what unfolds and what predictions you sort of had and what you forecast, how it comes to light over the course of the season.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.